What's up, Sooner fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Sooner Surge. You can see a little bit of a change in my background. Uh, Instead of being plain vanilla, I had to spruce it up a little. And we're going to talk about what else needs to be spruced up a little, and that's the OU offense. If you're not part of what's going on at the Sooner Surge, click the subscribe button and join us here at the Sooner Surge because we will tell it like it is. And right now, let's get right into it, Jay. Yesterday in Lawrence, Kansas, 38-33, Sooners fall to the Jayhawks in what was one of the most frustrating, mind-boggling, hair-pulling, whatever you want to say, that game had it. And a lot of those frustrations for Sooner fans stem from the offensive side of the ball. It was pitiful.
Jeremy, I don't even know where to start. I wasn't able to be on the videos with y'all yesterday, and just such a frustrating game. And really, there's so many places you can start on the offense, and I don't know where to begin, but I'll begin with this. You get the turnover with 2 minutes left. You have 1st and 10 from their 38-yard line. Okay? You're not on your own 10. You're ahead. You're up one. You're ahead, and you're on their 38-yard line. All you need is a first down. The game's over. And they lost yard. It's baffling to me because if I'm an offensive coordinator in that situation, I'm thinking, okay, we probably have 4 downs to run, right? Why not go into it thinking you have 4 downs to run, get a first down, the ball game's over. They didn't throw the ball one time. And also, it was not raining, Jeremy. It was not raining. Okay? Right. What about Drake Stoops? What about a little first down throw to him? I mean, it was mind-boggling to me. I don't understand what's going on. The only thing I can sit here, I just wonder, like, okay, Jeff Lebby, what's going through his mind there? Because, first off, you're also playing a running back who hasn't played in 5 weeks, Javonte Barnes. I don't understand that situation. Do you?
There were so many personnel decisions. Why Sawchuk wasn't at? I mean, if Walker was hurt, like everyone said he was, then in my opinion, it should have been Sawchuk. And the other thing, Jay, is if you would understand Lebby's mindset if you listen to the post game. He was interviewed and asked specifically about the series there, and his mindset was basically we're gonna force them to use all 3 timeouts and pin them deep.
And
that's
Jeremy,
unbelievable.
And Jeremy, that's probably
my defensive coaching.
Jeremy, that's my number one complaint probably with this offense and with Jeff Lebby. Take it all the way back to the Texas game. How many times in the Texas game did they have opportunities to extend the lead and put the game out of reach? Okay? No, didn't happen. UCF, same dang thing. Okay? Last week, Kansas, they had multiple chances in the game. Get a first down, it's over. Be aggressive. Instead, they're going to the shell almost like they're playing in what we're going to watch with Kansas City and Denver today in a snowstorm. It was not raining. It wasn't even raining. I don't understand. Nope. It wasn't even raining, and they threw the ball 0 times on that possession. But let's just not even concentrate on that, right? I mean, you could go there's so many times throughout that game where I'll give you a stat, 19 pass attempts from Dylan Gabriel. Okay? How many were on the last drive, Jeremy?
Probably 7.
7 or 8? So now you're down to 12. Jeremy, how many of those 12 passes were less than 3 yards or behind the line of scrimmage?
Go ahead and tell me.
I think like 7 or 8. Okay, so you're down to about 3 passes, and I can name them to you off the top of my head here. You had the Drake Stoops pass. You had Nick Anderson in the second half that went for like, how many yards did that go for?
I think it was 19 or 20.
The skinny post, okay, which, guys, go watch the tape, viewers. Go watch the tape. Safety's up on the line of scrimmage the whole second half, and not one time did they throw a skinny post. Well, they did once to Nick Anderson, and he got 30 or 40 yards. It's baffling to me. It was a misty rain, was it not? Was it a rainstorm? No. I don't know why you abandoned it completely. Is this team this is week 8, Jeremy. How many times do we do a video after the game and say this team is just not running the ball, but they're not a running team? How many times? Yet you're going to run the ball 55 times.
Go look at this is a good kind of comparison. If you go look at the SMU game, Jay, you come out of the SMU game, fans, viewers. Remember, the biggest complaint for OU fans, they scored 28 that game. The biggest complaint was OU didn't throw the ball down the field. That was also a game in which Tolly Walker had 17 carries, 121 yards or something. Okay? Ran the ball better. I'm not sure that you – and that's very similar to yesterday. OU just dominated the run, but DG after the game was asked about the 19 passes that he threw, and he said part of it was because they were running so well. Some of it was probably because of the weather, but I sense frustration, and I don't think he's the only one. Jeff Lebby has no identity on what's going on as far as are they running? Are they going to use it for play action? When the safety is up, their leading tackler is in your backfield the whole second half. At some point, you have to take a shot.
Well, and here's the thing. Even if they are running the ball better than the other team, that is not this team's identity. Their identity in the whole offseason, all you hear Jeff Lebby and them say is score from afar. Is that not what they talk about? And where are your playmakers at, Jeremy? They're on their receiver, are they not?
Yes.
So you're going to eliminate all your playmakers. In fact, we're going to go. Jeff Lebby's going to bring Jalil Farouk, who's a wide receiver, and he's going to go play running back. Okay, when you have Tolly Walker, who's been blowing him up the middle, and you're going to put Farouk at running back. Some of the stuff I don't understand. Some of the stuff, and listen, there's a lot of issues. There's some defensive issues, and hey, quite frankly, since the Texas game, this team's went south, and it should not be that way after a bye week. And then you go to UCF. And Jeremy, we talked about this week. After that UCF debacle where they almost lost, we thought that won't happen again. That's a wake-up call, right? Offensive goes out there and does the same thing. I don't. We're in week 8, and there's too much. To me, there's too much personnel tinkering right now. Also, week 8, you should have your guys who you know is going to be the starter, and I think that's kind of there. You're still having issues with the offensive line. They're throwing. I don't know. I don't know why Bird started a left guard over Caden Green. Has been really good. There's a lot of personnel decisions, but if you want to talk about Jeff Lebby, I don't think he knows I don't understand it. I really don't understand the. You're letting teams stay in the game because of the way you're calling the game.
And look, I was critical of Lebby last year. I've given the guy. You were not. You were a big Jeff Lebby guy, and I was critical.
And before I'm gonna let you keep talking, but for a second, I'm still a Jeff Lebby guy. I don't think they're gonna fire him, but something he's got to. And here's the one thing: he's never been an OC, pure play caller at a big time college by himself. If you think about it, he was at Ole Miss where Lane Kiffin was there. Probably had a lot to do with the play calling. And then before that, UCF, I would think Josh Heupel may have had something to do with the play calling too. So I'm just saying. He's got to figure out what his identity is for this offense, because if it's score from afar, then you can't go a game and not throw it over 3 yards.
And then they do throw one deep to Brennan Thompson and then they complete it. But what I was going to say was what you just said about him being an OC. Look, I think both of these can be true. Jeff Lebby is a brilliant offensive mind, and Jeff Lebby cannot call in-game plays. Does not have a good feel for the game. I think both of those can be true. There was no feel for the game yesterday. Did not seem to have a feel for what Kansas was doing when they adjusted to stop the run. It's like, we're going to keep doing this over and over again, even if they're going to adjust to it. And at no point did they go over the top. They hit the tight end Stogner once on a brilliantly designed play. Brilliantly designed play. Never once went back to the tight end down the middle of the field. Again, it was baffling. Viewers, I would love to know your thoughts on the offensive identity, on what needs to happen going forward, what changes need to be made, not just personnel-wise on the offense, but also maybe schematically.
Well, and I'm not on here just to bash coaches because they lost one game. That's not it. But where's the improvement since Texas? They've went south, Jeremy, offensively. And take away the second half of that Texas game, there was a few drives there, but there was also times they could have extended that lead and ended it, and they didn't do it. So, is Andrell Anthony that big of a loss where they can't figure it out now on offense? Since he's left the game, Jeremy, think about this. Since he left and got hurt in that Texas game, how many of the balls have they thrown deep?
I agree, and
That doesn't
People
make
don't
any
want to
sense.
hear this either, but I've got some concerns about Dylan Gabriel in some areas,
Well,
and
and that's
we can get to that on another point. But there are some flags that have been raised, and always have been question marks on making progressions and things like that. The offensive line wasn't as good yesterday in pass protection. We could not block Kansas. That was a concern. Maybe not having Marcus Major, and then when Walker went out, you couldn't pick up pass protection. But I would say that if we were throwing the ball all the time, but they weren't even trying. And that's the disappointing thing yesterday, is it just seemed like the game plan was to just pound them, and it worked. They got back in it after the delay, looked like a totally different team running the ball, was super excited about what I was seeing. And then after halftime came out and Kansas made adjustments. OU didn't adjust and kept trying. It's like running your head into the wall over and over again. It's not going to work.
I would love to. I mean, I should have looked it up before this video, but I'm sure a viewer will comment about this. But I would love to see the second half stats, play by play. How many passes OU threw before the last drive in the second half?
Let's look that up and figure it out. We'll do that.
There's not a whole lot. And another thing is, we all know what people say about 2-point conversions. Okay, you got to have your best play ready to go. They had 2 chances and failed on both. And listen, one of those goes completed and you get it, you're down 3. All you need is a field goal at the end. I mean, there's a lot of things that just it's a frustrating loss. And I think we all thought it would be a tough game. Don't get me wrong. I did. I thought it'd be a tough game. I thought OU would probably pull away and win pretty handily, though. And because I thought, especially after coming off UCF, the offense is going to come out swinging, and they come out with a pick 6. I mean, it's baffling. I don't know how many times I can say it. Frustrating. But you know what? You got to pick yourself up. You got to get up there, and you got to show up against Stillwater, and you got to turn this thing around. Listen, they can still win the Big 12. Things could happen, and you never know. We've been down this boat before. It's hard to go undefeated. I get it. But I need to see improvement on offense ASAP. Defensively as well, hasn't been good. But I will say this, defensively they've been hammered with injuries on the defense. Hammered. So it's a little different in my opinion.
You're right. Offense has to be better. Got to find a way in Stillwater to put a lot of more points on the board and become explosive again, because they do have probably everything they set their mind at the beginning of the year. Starts with the Big 12 championship, winning the last Big 12 championship that you can win, and they still control their own destiny.
Yeah.
But things have to change. There's the silver lining. Things can change. These are all correctable fixes, but yes, figure out the identity. Go back to being aggressive. Viewers, what are your thoughts on the offense in Norman, Oklahoma? Drop it here in the chat. Thanks for being a part of this. Till next time, guys. Boomer.
Sooner.